What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. In today's video I'm trying something a little different. I'm gonna try to make some kind of pattern with a Canister Damascus that I haven't tried before. I actually got this idea from watching Fire Creek Forge's video where he put a whole bunch of ball bearings, just one layer all the way across, and put some powder in it, did canoe style, and the forge welded, and it came out with a pretty cool looking pattern. So I wanted to try out the same concept, but I wanted to incorporate these bearings into it. Not bearings, these lock washers into it, because I thought it would look pretty cool. But these lock washers are definitely a different height than the ball bearing. The ball bearings are a quarter and these are probably like an eighth. So I'm going to have to put a little bit of powder, then put my lock washers and force my ball bearing down. So right now I'm working on making a canister for it. I got all the main components. I'm going to start welding it up, and then I'll show you my trick, the paint. But I'll explain to you why the paint works so well on making sure that this does not stick to this, and we get a nice beautiful billet that's not too difficult to remove from the canister. Alright, so this is what I use. Any white paint will do. I use Rust-Oleum because that's like easily available for me. But white paint, it's specifically the white, the pigment in the white is what makes the contents of the canister not stick to the actual canister, because I believe it's titanium oxide that is the chemical used in most paints to pigment it white, and that it does not like to weld at all. So any white paint, this is the one I use if you want to use this one, but any white paint will work. That's why you see a lot of people using whiteout, because whiteout also uses that white pigment. I left this space right here on the bottom because I'm going to fill that up with the powder, give me a nice good hardenable edge. The ball bearings are hardenable, but the lock washers aren't really. They're more mild steel than anything else. So I'm going to be putting a generous amount down there. I got this from Maritime Night Supply. It's a Canadian company. I'm not sponsored, but this was the best bang for my buck. So if you're looking for any powder steel with nickel, this is the way to go. This is 6 pounds, and I think it was $34 plus shipping for 6 pounds, and other places had 5 pounds for 44 plus shipping, or roughly around that area. So this is definitely the best bang for your buck. As you can see, we got a pretty clean extraction. It was a pain in the ass to get it out because of how thin it is right here. On most canisters, I forge weld a lot thicker, so the canister just bulges and you just cut one side and you can peel it. But working with something this thin was a little bit more work, but once I got the seam open, this popped right out. So next thing I'm going to do is, it seems like you still have some bumps right here from the ball bearings. They're clearly visible. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get it back up to forge welding heat. I'm just going to flatten it out a little bit more, and then I'll grind it to see what kind of billet we get. If you pay close attention, when I angle it right, you can see the ball bearings in there. And from here I can also see the lock washers in certain areas, not in all areas. There you go. You can see the lock washers. So it's really cracked in this area right here. Like a good chunk of this is cracked, but it doesn't crack all the way through. This for sure is gone. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. But I might be able to grind through some of these cracks over here since they don't seem to go all the way through. But this is a rough 60 grit. I'm gonna go over it with a 120 and then put in the acid and see what it looks like. Ignore the mess everywhere, don't judge me. Alright guys, so we have been in the acid for a few minutes. You can clearly see the ball bearings, but then they disappear. So I'm assuming I'm a little thick right here, but it's kind of thin regardless. You don't see very many little cracks. You only see them right here. The other side is full of cracks, but only on the back half, not the front half. The reason why I tried this out was because I wanted this. Look at that. Now that looks pretty cool. All this means is I got some more grinding to do on this side. Alright guys, so the knife has been shaped up. Part of the tang fell off, so I had to make it slightly smaller than I wanted to get some more of that tang length in there. But it's going to be hidden tang, and I might, still haven't decided if I'm going to weld anything to it. But so far so good, time to heat treat it. Alright guys, so we're out of the temper, and I dropped it. Alright guys, so we are out of the temper. Knife's looking pretty good. We got some warpage in here, slightly, but I'll just straighten that out on the grinder. Alright guys, so it's been sanded down 2000 grit and I washed it down. I do have minor cracks right here. I'm trying to get them in. There we go, you can see them right there. Got some minor cracks right there in the tank, so obviously it's not going to be usable. It's going to be just for show, just a proof of concept, but the rest of it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely going to have to try it again. Probably put in more washers, because I think that the pattern for coming out on this side, because the washers weren't thick enough. But let's put in the acid and see what we got. Alright guys, so let's talk handle material. I'm going to cut a notch out of this piece of red micarta. I went on ahead and epoxied two together to give me the thickness of the knife. The knife is not very thick, but it's thick enough. And this is perfect thickness for it. After I go on ahead and cut this out, I will be layering these pieces. What I have here are 2 pieces of walnut and 2 pieces of ash. I'm not going to go very fancy with the material because the knife is a dud, but I do still want to give it some kind of appeal, so I'm going to give it some contrasting colors and make it look nice because I will be keeping it. Alright guys, so our block has been solidified. I drew on where the tang goes and the rest of the knife roughly where I'm going to cut. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. The knife build came out pretty cool. It definitely has some defects, but for the first try, it's a proof of concept, and I'll definitely be trying again very soon. Try to get a big knife out of it, and one that doesn't have any cracks. So stay tuned for that. If you like this video, be sure to like the video, and if you're not subscribed already, come on, what you doing? Subscribe. I'll have a close-up of this knife at the very end, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.